So when you're crazy, you got 4 or 5 kids and you're on welfare, you're not going to have no society.
It was as if with the right hand of our State Department we shook their hand, while with the left hand of the Defense Department we reached into their coat pockets.
You're just going to kill the society.
One of the many thoughts that continually went through my mind was that if I had to reveal part of my personal life to my employer, I'd really rather reveal all of it, rather than just part of it.
And that's what Donald Trump, my good friend Donald Trump, wants to do.
Partial revelations, such as the fact that answering question X made my pulse quicken, led to misunderstandings.
He brings let me just say this, he brings an atmosphere with him of success.
The collapse of government authority.
That's what he's bringing for America.
These phrases ring strange in the ears of Americans, and for good reason.
I found myself wishing that my life would be constantly and completely monitored.
I have a certain degree of success in my own life.
It might seem odd that a self-professed libertarian would wish an Orwellian dystopia on himself, but here was my rationale.
That's what it is. But the parents have to be responsibility.
The policeman on the corner has traditionally been looked upon as a friend, not as the instrument of a tyrant.
Government don't have right to raise your parents.
If people knew a few things about me, I might seem suspicious. But if people knew everything about me, they'd see they had nothing to fear.
Government don't have right to raise your parents.
Anarchy.
Because I think we're losing our, our American way to...
Well, that was something we read about in our newspapers that was always happening in other countries.
Hi, this is Dr. Pinwheel Lippincott with some good news.
It's all absolutely accurate information.
Do you remember the future? Well, your future has already been decided.
Really? Where'd you hear that?
Perhaps the people in other countries had just reasons to riot against their governments.
The Arco horse.
So you can let out a sigh of relief, stop worrying, and finally surrender to a power greater than yourself.
Your buddy over there speaks the truth.
Surrender to me, Dr. Pinwheel Lippincott. It's fast, it's fun, and best of all, it's free.
You know, I think what you're saying is haphazard, incoherent, stumbling.
What business was it of ours, anyway?
The true fact is Clyde.
Clyde. My name is Clyde, Linda.
But it could never happen here.
Clyde.
Clyde?
Thank you, Clyde.
But it could never happen here.
Can you say that? Can you pronounce it?
Sorry.
Clyde.
If you're hearing this message, that means that I'm currently using a racial slur.
Clyde. Can you say that?
It was as though an unseen hand had given the signal.
Clyde. I always thought you were Clyde.
No, I'm not. I'm Clyde. Yes.
You've ascended beyond the need to drink any kind of liquids.
It's like...
Congratulations.
Clyde. With a D, like dogs and attack Native Americans.
Create the appearance of popular support.
I've been a fan for a while and have mispronounced your name. Anyway.
The dedicated 1% can trick the 99% into surrendering their birthright.
Keep your urine in tiny little cups all throughout the home.
The rallying cry of the deluded peasants.
These festive little cups are not just pretty. They also ensure you won't be tempted to drink piss.
We shall overcome.
A clown trying to lure kids into the woods with treats.
Is now.
Clowns whispering in the woods nearby.
Is it okay if I bleed on your couch?
She saw a clown in a wooded area.
Get them fighting among themselves rather than their common enemy.
Seeing a clown in the laundromat.
Is it okay if I urinate here?
The next step is to create the appearance of popular support.
So far, there's no hard evidence that any of these so-called clowns actually exist, right?
For the rest of the day, you're going to be tied up wearing a hood over your head.
In the area where the clown was sighted, allegedly trying to lure kids into the woods.
I will return to check on you in 48 hours.
Neutralize the opposition.
Then I'll ask you once more. Do you like my little hat?
So no adult did see that clown, but an adult did hear the clown, apparently. They say there was nothing for them to find as far as any clown goes.
We can and must write in a language which sows among the masses hate, revulsion, and scorn toward those who disagree with it.
Real torture can only come from experience.
I know in Greenville, the chief of police is quoted as saying the clowning around has to stop. I mean,
You must experience being tortured.
Of
Write
course,
that
we don't
down.
want to incite more mass fear, mass confusion, but at this point...
Members and front organizations must continually embarrass, discredit, and degrade our critics. Label them as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic.
Don't ever leave your house again.
The association will, after enough repetition, become facts in the public mind.
Forcing his tongue down my throat.
Don't ever speak to another living person.
You walk to the grocery store with your child and you get shot.
Precipitating mob violence.
You walk outside to look and see what's happening and you get shot.
Don't do it, little buddy.
nothing you can do stops the pain. So
sad and lonely.
It's not too difficult to convert an orderly demonstration into a full-scale riot.
Oh, are they really?
No. No.
Look over there, behind the litter box.
By the time I was 30, I said, that's it, I'm a smoker for life. I wanted to be a smoker, and I did it, thanks to Chantix.
Mass action culminates in insurrection and civil war.
People treat Google search results as facts.
Get the people out into the streets.
Do you see the severed finger? There it is.
The beads and the hose, and money cash hose, and...
It's a cute little finger. It belongs to my son, but you can have it.
The bead don't kill my vibe, and...
Youth groups are to be armed with knives and clubs.
And burn George W. Bush.
You might be a whore. Are you a whore? Be honest.
You'll laugh. It's kind of like, okay, excuse me, that is locker room talk.
Your life might not have value.
Being poked and prodded.
I'd like to say to the lady about the children today and the
That
youth.
tenuous line between demonstration and riot, between non-violence and violence, was easily obliterated.
Piff piff, rap-a-pop, ping poo. Piff piff, rap-a-pop, ping poo. Piff piff, rap-a-pop, ping poo. Piff piff, rap-a-pop, ping poo.
The air began to be filled with rainbows.
Police brutality became the cry of the insurgents.
The very atmosphere seemed to be a moving current of multicolored particles which came streaming down around him.
But what will they think of my nipples?
When he listened to the stereo, he saw colored particles.
The invariable charges of police brutality were hurled
floating out from the speaker.
As efforts were made to maintain law and order.
The pictures on the walls became liquefied with colors running down like waterfalls.
Do-do-do-da-do-da, dee-do-dee-da-do-da-da.
First, it seemed that half of his face was rotting away.
It takes only a handful of armed opportunists, criminals and savages to create the semblance of revolution.
Then he began to see himself as a grotesque, misshapen monster.
I'm not in the mood to put on my little hat. Do-do-do-da-do-da, dee-do-dee-da-do-da-da.
He looked around the room and all the people were becoming monsters.
Divide the people.
He can look at a crack in the sidewalk and shrink back as though it were a Grand Canyon.
Divide the people.
Or he can look down from the top of a skyscraper and have the feeling it is barely inches to the ground.
Get them fighting among themselves rather than their common enemy.
Stop recording me, please. I'm done. Please stop recording me, please, for the love of God.
Patterns in the brain become flamboyant, twisted, so that the user can be looking at a person and suddenly gain the impression that that person is dissolving away or turning into some kind of a strange monster.
And Negroes did die in the streets.
To discover that he had been running naked and bleeding up and down the boulevard on which
Hello,
he lived.
my name is Lulu Sockets, but please call me P.P. Peener the Socket Boy.
I'm a graham cracker. See, my arm just crumbled off.
Have you considered that I'm an alcoholic? It's
something
true.
real groovy.
Precipitate mob violence.
Suddenly feathers popped out on her skin.
Hello.
She had an eagle's face.
My name is Lulu Sockets. Have you thought about death today? Have you thought about death today?
Precipitate mob violence.
Why not make a decision right now to think about death and dying before it's too late?
Get the mobs into the streets.
Oh God, I heard myself yell. People really are animals.
Label them as fascist, Nazi, anti-Semitic, extremist, racist, controversial.
Feed me peanuts, please, please, please feed me peanuts, sir.
cracks and sidewalks became deep crevices you could fall into.
Put them in my little bowl.
Their discipline disintegrated into complete confusion.
Oh, I get so excited when it's time for my peanuts.
I think many of us are going to have to choose where we're going to die at.
Sorry.
We must be willing to suffer jail.
Are you ready, Ed?
Just a minute.
We must be willing to suffer death.
Communications laser number 17. Monitoring the bomb drop mechanism.
Have you considered sitting in the dark for a while?
Switch into a test mode. If you will look near the surface door, you will see that the parallax receptor cell has been engaged.
Have you considered sitting in the dark for a while? Remember, you must wait in the darkness for at least 45 minutes.
There are Gestapo policemen on every street corner.
Would you like me to close the curtains?
Policemen are going to be dead before this situation is over.
Communications laser number 17 is now on test. Under no circumstances enter the path of the beam. Thank you for observing all safety precautions.
Have you considered pretending to have cancer?
And the rabbit's dick is completely hard. The rabbit is carrying a sign.
Here, boy. Want your mouse? Nice mouse. Pretty toy. Want your mouse? Here, boy.
And the rabbit's dick is completely hard.
Have you considered eating out of the toilet?
On the sign, it reads, Crockett.
What? That depends on who has the clicker.
Crockett.
I'm sorry, sir, what?
Before it fucks you.
Yeah, sweet. I'm into it. Cool. I live here. Rad.
Hey, look at those guys over there. They haven't got any clothes on.
I'm your little friend who lives in the toilet.
Certainly they haven't any clothes on. They're nudists.
Did you know that? Yes, that's right.
Nude as hell. They're crazy.
Yes, it is.
What do you mean they're crazy?
I'm your little toilet boy.
The answer is yes.
Everything I own is soaked in urine.
Look at them. Can't you see their nuts?
Yes?
You mean that old man with the long hair?
Yes.
Underthings in a nudist colony?
Yes. You're right.
And if some nice girl comes along and pats your ass, think nothing of it.
This is the urine lifestyle.
And remember, there are other asses here besides yours.
Oh, yes. Yes, you can see that.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, an affront to American porcelain. Oh.
Yes, sir. That's a great little deal.
Why, talk about it. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, sure, of course.
The compliance may be voluntary or involuntary.
Rescue from basement.
I used to belong to a policeman's nudist colony.
A policeman's nudist colony?
Yeah, that's where all the dicks hang out.
Oh, kind of a cop's retreat, eh?
Rescue from basements.
Warning. Warning for the American public.
Figure it out for yourself.
Control of an interrogatee can rarely be established without control of his environment.
Just in case. Ever try to work under makeshift lighting in a dark and dusty, confined space?
Would you like to hear a piece of music my rock group taped last night, using electric instruments?
It's no picnic.
Shackled to the wall and given buckets for human waste.
It's no picnic.
You hear music from the left, music from the right.
Here's the pitch for tonight, fellas. We're going to discuss what basements are.
He's downstairs watching the TV.
You'll have to size it up.
He slowly walked on his own to the water table and sat down.
Okay, let's suppose you're lucky that day.
It sounds like this.
When the interrogator snapped his fingers twice, he would lie flat on the waterboard.
You don't push your luck too far.
These are in-between tones.
You're steering clear of trouble.
Now here's a real treat for those of you hi-fi fans in the medical profession.
Double casualty.
1. The attention grasp.
Don't light any matches.
2, walling.
Dangers all the way.
3, facial hold. 4, facial slap. 5, cramped confinement.
I'm a 52-year-old man filled with jealousy and regret.
You're liable to lose it, and I don't need your help.
6, wall standing. 7, stress positions. 8, sleep deprivation. 9, waterboard.
Pretty messy, huh? Well, just remember this.
If only I'd learned to express myself through musical composition.
10, use of diapers. 11, use of insects. And 12, mock burial.
You may have to sink a shaft through the rubble and earth.
Either loud rock music was played or noise generators were used to enhance his sense of hopelessness.
But I'm in the process of transforming this suffering through my home music system.
But there's dust to worry about.
He was sedated and moved from the hospital to detention site Green.
To preserve this creative impulse, I record my compilation on my Sony DAT machine.
Forget this, and you're liable to end up a casualty yourself.
5 CIA officers would scream at a detainee.
Learn the rules. Practice them.
I'm creating, conducting, and composing a 90-minute concert for myself.
Drag him outside of his cell.
Basements seem to have all the hazards.
Cut his clothes off.
We've been talking pretty much in generalities so far.
As my library of my favorite cuts of tapes grows and I listen to my tapes over and over.
And secure him with Mylar tape.
Most editing is done by feel alone.
The detainee would then be hooded and dragged up and down a long corridor while being slapped and punched.
You may be faced with falling objects of the shifts of structural parts of the building.
Just smile real wide so your teeth will be a piano,
Attempt to provide the individual with a psychological way out that will justify his or her participation in the crime. Every dollar spent transforming major dictatorships into well-functioning democracies
strengthens our strategic position in the world and helps create new markets for U.S.
You have implicitly agreed. You have implicitly agreed.
Now, get all the dope you can.
Have you noticed that you can solve everyone else's problem but not your own?
You may end up on the wrong end of a blood plasma tube.
The feeling of fear.
But maybe if you play a pretty piano tune on my teeth, your friends will come back.
If I had a drink, perhaps I'd feel better.
See, I'll smile real wide so you can make music.
A battered victim of black.
Perhaps if I had another one, I would feel better still.
Any loose hanging stuff?
Men have taken drugs.
They think with their feelings.
Maybe there's a hidden joker.
Men have taken drugs.
Their feelings cause them to think.
Equinil, Thorazine, Miltown, and Sparine.
And oh, brother. Okay, we're on our way inside now.
Their feelings cause them to think.
Not for kicks.
If I had someone to love me and understand me.
This exerts a calming influence on the patient.
It's open and shut.
If I had lots of money.
But creates severe problems for society.
Home sweet homicide.
Someone is rude to you.
That's right, Dan.
Mistakes are made.
You react.
The outer surface of the brain.
You become angry.
Okay.
Abscess of the veins and the
You're
liver.
driving down the highway.
No sense fouling up now.
You stupid so-and-so.
Different speeds and strengths.
This is where it really can get rough.
You stupid so-and-so.
Immature and foolish individual.
This is where you can separate the men from the boys.
You stupid so-and-so.
The word for today is take it easy.
Some drugs are administered through the mouth.
One of these days I'd like to buy an old $50 car and knock off your fenders.
But don't waste time.
You stupid so-and-so. You must learn to control your own emotions.
Often causes great damage and even death.
By now we're both dying for a smoke.
The dreamer feels like he's falling in his sleep because of what he thinks.
Only a guy with a wooden head would take a chance on wearing a loose 2x4 for a hat.
Extreme nervousness and agitation.
He's not really falling.
Severe depression quickly develops.
That's it, brother.
But he feels like he is.
No way to go but down.
A variety of other dangerous drugs is needed.
Here they come.
With a sticky substance.
You create a good memory for the worthless things.
But they're not going to find any casualties.
Which comes from a tiny hole.
When we feel hungry, we think of food.
We must understand how a working cowboy dresses.
It'll be the real McCoy.
When we think of food, we can feel hungry.
And how his clothing sets him apart from movie cowboys, rodeo cowboys.
Or do you need help?
Plastic and make-believe cowboys.
You're going to rescue wounded people.
Watching TV all day long.
Okay?
The idea of this picture is a cowboy taking a smoke break.
If collapse of a house took place at night, have your squadman look around and under the bed.
Tuning the radio as loud as possible.
Well-trained dogs will save hours of work in locating casualties.
The second picture, the cowboy has a bad attitude.
And then call ourselves an easygoing guy.
There's no relationship to his horse.
It is foolhardy to learn to swim while drowning.
The man isn't a hero, the horse is.
First we learn thought control.
This is a bad ad.
First we learn thought control.
Color is too strong.
Your reaction to hearing this might be, I love everyone.
The image is too large.
So when you can say I have no fault, then you can say I have no end.
The type is too big.
This was once Jimmy's room. It used to be his favorite place.
We can feel happy regardless of the situation.
The whole layout feels crowded.
You may not understand now, but tomorrow or the next day you will.
There's nothing about it that says lightness.
His own private world. Now there's not much left.
Just like the dreamer who feels like he's falling in his sleep but isn't.
Small pieces of truth that add up to something magic.
That cozy family room where everyone gathered to watch TV. Now is gone.
I feel guilty for not doing more for my children.
They add up to believability.
Or my husband or wife before they passed away.
The sorrow of this moment will not be soon forgotten.
He's never a salesman, never a huckster.
Unable to pay my debts.
You can't stop others from smoking.
He remains a working cowboy.
Hey, wake up. Your cigarette.
Oh, I feel guilty about sex.
It's very important that you look for every chance to use the coupons to convert competitive smokers.
Hey, who was he?
To our major brands.
Sooner or later, we are suppressing more than we're expressing.
Be alert.
And again. I declare to goodness, sometimes I don't know whether to hug you or paddle you.
Especially if little brother is in the mood for a hot dog.
So we say nothing, walk away or cry.
Twisting your neck, I should be doing.
Slam the door shut.
We will sit daydreaming.
Or pound on the walls.
By the way, this is one reason why children fail in school.
Blow a whistle.
When the baby grows up to be an old man and he dies,
go to your outside meeting place.
They bury his body in the ground. I think we'd better keep this a secret just between the two of us for a while.
Do exactly as you're told.
Jump only as a last resort.
I've watched you closely since that day 5 years ago.
Am I kidding myself?
Make sure your eyes are open.
It's too simple to work.
You must decide.
Is it wearing off?
I can't answer the question for you.
Perhaps I'm not doing it right.
Talk it over with your look.
I will be brave. I will lose weight.
But when this volcano starts inside of you, can't you stop it?
No.
You could not teach them to pray.
You know, if it starts, there's no stopping it, really.
You do not belong to the true church.
My voice is to be your guide for 3 days in a row.
Damn it, you look as if you're guilty. You must have been young.
His church wouldn't allow him to be married in your church.
I ask you now not to proceed with the remainder of this side of the recording until you have proceeded with the exercise on the other side.
I promise that I will lead a married life in keeping with the Catholic Church regarding birth control.
magic game.
You may not want to sit in a cold room.
What do you mean? You're not thinking that I'd drop out of church or join Kent's church or anything like that, are you?
Be careful, don't fall asleep.
But that's ridiculous. But I wouldn't want to interfere.
Assume your position.
Oh, I know there are problems.
Watch your thoughts.
These things can be worked out, can't they?
Be aware of your hand.
Do they really matter?
Look out into space.
Let me use.
You may become aware of light patterns. Be aware of your hands.
I felt like I couldn't do anything.
Don't blame anyone.
I began to see people no one else saw.
Desire, desire, desire. Desire.
Lay down the voiceover. Appliance clearance. Kellerman Son audio video appliance. And when you mix the two, you have to keep cranking down the music until it just about disappears.
This dreaming, ambitious, goal-seeking, selfish, now tortured, lustful nature.
The eggs are sopping wet. He says, huh?
2 out of every 3 people I saw didn't exist.
And he comes into his office and he's got a bucket full of specimens.
Don't analyze, just listen to what I'm saying.
Adamant in his refusal to reveal the name of his accomplice.
Spent the night counting cornflakes.
Absolutely firm in his refusal to reveal the name of his accomplice.
As for you, you still have your job.
Do not depend on memories, no matter how meaningful they are.
If he decides to cut costs, your job would probably be the first cost he would
His
cut.
coonskin cap was an anomaly.
Soon you'll have an answer.
Dislike of, hatred for.
Sometimes doing nothing is the right answer.
Aversion to. Communism.
Your dreams of that new car would evaporate.
My antipathy for communism was no secret. Apathy about the injured child.
If you don't know, no, you don't know. Admit it.
He kept the majority for himself, so he maintained control.
Absence of emotion about the injured child was shocking.
Watch. Be aware. At all times.
The pompous speaker bored his audience with banal remarks, which made him order the promotion of all red-headed men in the platoon.
Remember that. And calm down.
Here again, the church can help you.
It was simply a whim, an unmotivated decision.
This is a process.
There is one woman who does do something, and that is a doctor.
It is God's house.
At the end of 3 years, I gave up in utter despair.
Do not solicit feelings of your children.
What is needed is a fair chance for each.
Awaken, arise.
That's real romance.
A fair day's wage for a fair day's work.
We needed to fill our minds with something.
I found that women are a branded sex.
Toys.
So we worried about the war, about the kids.
There is no hope in the market of the world of an equal day's pay for an equal day's work.
Tires.
Worry made us industrious busybodies.
Tables. Heart bypass valves.
There is no fair chance anywhere until that stigma is removed.
Aspirin tablets. And
do you suppose this family lives in their tent all the
time? The ladies
time?
speak Italian, to the gentlemen French, to the birds English, to the dogs German, and Spanish should be spoken only to God.
It made us forget our empty, faulty, meaningless existence.
They convince themselves that they cannot possibly enjoy heterosexuality without ever really trying to enjoy it.
Probably.
And to magically try to gain masculinity by merging with other males.
With a few pretty words, we tickled other deluded souls to tickle our vanity. We infected the world with problems in the guise of love.
See the TV antenna? There it is.
We traded our bodies.
become and remain fixed deviants largely because they are highly inadequate, self-condemning, perfectionistic, anxiety-ridden, depressed, dependent, injustice-collecting individuals.
The gorilla watches TV for a while and leaves.
What rebellious Frankensteins we sire to fight against our need to feel safe.
Majority, though not all, of these fixed deviants are not merely neurotic, but are actually borderline psychotic.
Who used our hypocrisies to champion their ego glory.
It takes great self-discipline to give up the gay life.
Could it be electricity?
The pleasure and the fun of being with these men who are happy.
But wait, what happened didn't happen until the other side of this record, so you turn it over.
Psychic vampires, wolves in sheep's clothing no more.
No law or moral code is going to stop a compulsive homosexual or deviant from seeking his homophile heaven.
Fabricating dream stuff.
As you may see here, this is a talking clock, one of the latest inventions. This clock will talk out the time every hour on the hour to appropriate to the time of the day and night. This is the speaker. Down here you may see the synchronized record that we're using into this mechanism. Of course, speaking of this, you will hear it through this here speaker here.
Soma modifies central perception of pain without abolishing natural defense reflexes.
There must be advantages, however dubious, to life outside the purview of mere sexual pleasure.
Arguing with yourself.
Who dresses like a woman, disports himself like a woman, and often considers himself a woman, views his life.
Under test, Soma was given to dogs.
And your husband wants to be a girl.
Piously seeking intellectual truth.
I guess I'm just a drag queen.
When the leg of a dog was painfully stimulated, the withdrawal reflex was maintained.
They could be anything. You would pay somebody to whip you or pay somebody to let you beat them up, I suppose. There are infinite varieties. And of course I can't say that I've experienced all of them. That would be beyond my poor powers.
As if to agree with your nagging conscience.
This man clearly values pleasure for its own sake.
When morphine is used in this test, it abolishes both the pain and the withdrawal reflex.
What he is really seeking is himself.
But then we still feel guilty. If I were God, I could never forgive me for what I've done.
Anything you tell them to do, they'll do. They're just meek.
Aspirin is ineffective in this test.
Hello, hello, hello.
Sometimes people's eyes glaze over.
Hello, operator, hello, let us...
Relief of pain was rapid and sometimes
Your record
dramatic.
player may break.
08, not 07.
Many of his patients reported relief from insomnia.
Hello?
A flurry of old thoughts and memories, perhaps even commercials.
Hello, operator?
No toxic effects were noted.
They keep ringing me and tying up my line. Everyone is on the same line. Can't you tell that lady to hang up?
You were subject to unseen powers, pressures, that moved you according to its design.
It was not necessary to increase dosage.
Hello? Is it you?
Do not meditate for oblivion.
I can barely hear you. You sound very far away, very far.
The recommended dosage of Soma is 1 tablet 3 times daily and at bedtime.
I said, can you hear me? I can hear you as clearly as if you were in the room.
Soon your past will disappear to the point of forgetfulness.
Hello? Hello?
You will begin to feel as though you were just born.
Oh, how do you like that now? I can't hear you.
Your need for distraction and escape will diminish to the point where you seem not to be interested in anything anymore.
Yes, but you sound so far away. Call me back. Hello, call me back.
You may also feel lethargic to the point of appearing to be lazy, not being able to do your work, as well as the criticism from others for it.
I said call me back.
You will seem to have forgotten everything you know.
Please, if they cut us off, call me right back, will you?
Wait.
Of course. Hello, don't...
Images and words are only noises.
Oh, hello?
The image and noise level in your mind has replaced your awareness of truth.
No, don't hang up. Hello? Hello, I'm speaking, operator. I'm still speaking. Hello?
There are certain key words which are used to excite you, turn you on, make you feel worthy, pump you up.
Hello, darling? Where are you? Oh.
Observe how you trap people into saying these words.
Hello, operator. Hello? Operator, I've been cut off.
The imagination is the no man's land.
Oh, hello, operator. Well, he's calling me back. All right.
Don't be upset.
Hello? Hello, 047.
Don't be upset. For goodness sake, don't stop meditating.
No, not 670.
You will occasionally hear vile utterances coming from the subterranean unconscious.
Hello? Yes, we were cut off.
Again, those thoughts are not you.
Yes, the phone rang. I answered, but there was no one there.
The God, the Jesus, the Buddha, that you may have accepted via brainwashing is not the real one.
I mean, if you want a sermon, catch Billy Graham on the tube.
Is supplied in bottles of 50 white, coated, 350 milligram tablets.
A sort of religious experience that wasn't real.
Sometimes it's not even planned, it just happens.
And voices may make you angry and feel guilty.
Thank you, Doctor, for listening.
Or like there's some things that have a certain amount of class, and you think you might like to have one.
The little voice of conscience is the voice of error.
We hope you enjoy the hi-fi recording from one of Beethoven's quartets on the other side of this record.
And you look, and it's like 9 prices.
Your own thoughts you could change if they were your own.
So either way, it's a rip-off.
The word desire.
Be prepared eventually to see a grotesque thing.
Either they get you or you get them.
Desire plays a big part in our business.
I couldn't care less what it'll do to your folks when they find out.
So let's find out which of our fine albums or treasuries our hostess would like to have.
Chances are they're up to the same thing.
He may use supernatural forces to frighten you, such tricks as moving the bedclothes, sounds of breathing, knocking and the like. Just stay calm.
I'm not going to give you any of that righteous crap. Because it's not that big a deal.
Things may seem to get worse for a while.
They get together in a...
Well, there's one case when it's all right to slap a lady.
They get together in associations and have lists of the people they think are getting to them.
Your house was burning down, as it were.
Imagine a great big prism.
I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, because, well, I said no crap, so no crap. I don't know.
For example, think of a lemon and your mouth will water.
And a series of windows lined up in a row.
And something else I didn't know. You can literally see right through the wall.
A vision of things to come may occur with vague meaning.
One of which lets through the red light, one which lets through the yellow light, and so on.
Man, there is nothing fair about it.
Gaze upon my browser extensions and despair.
The hair stands up on the back of your neck. You get an empty feeling in the pit of your stomach. You know, they know. They're going to let you get out of the store, and then they're going to nab you. If you let them.
Most of us feel like big failures most of the time.
This might be a little techie, I don't know.
That's okay.
If you don't play it very cool.
You can hear it's a very faint rumble, like distant thunder.
Are they willing to nab me, or aren't they? Boy, you can feel the sweat start popping out.
Mind is all. There is nothing outside of mind.
Jeez, they are onto something.
We're neutral.
I've got to get myself together.
All this mess of controls and touch chords is really a controllable, playable music instrument.
There is nothing outside of infinite mind.
Slow and easy. Just walk back there to the paint section and put it back on the shelf.
There's the top of the audio spectrum.
Man is the compound idea of infinite mind.
Stupid. 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 Stupid.
What we hear primarily when we listen to speech is not the generator.
Mind sees, and man is the expression of the all-seeing mind.
You can be telling the truth, and it's like he didn't hear you.
Let me say that as an engineer, I can tell you that if we were to build a machine to do this, it would be an awful lot bigger than an ear and a brain.
What my voice is saying is true.
You can't believe how many times I've heard that story.
You're not another human being with feelings.
What my voice is saying is true.
For obvious reasons, all of which have to do with money.
Like demonstrating a pipe organ before there was ever any music written for the pipe organ, so one can't consider this to be a definitive demonstration. Any comments about the Buka system you're listening to tonight?
I think it's psychologically very sound, very correct. I dig it.
I've almost got him.
Or somebody's son or daughter that they're proud of.
Curses! Curses!
Or somebody with a great future. Whatever it is, you know that you are.
I'll dispose of your enemy, the Mason Wasp.
You're just the same old story he's heard 1,000,000 times.
Farewell.
Many thanks to you, kind spider. I will someday fly over your house to salute you.
Now up we go into the air and home to our peaceful world.
And it has the same musical utility as a screen or a texturing surface would have in graphic art.
You can't phase them. You can't make them understand that this is important to you.
In the mood for food?
Good gosh, you're awful big.
In the mood for food?
This is your future.
This is a message about influence. You are part of this crisis because you are living today.
But I'm not going to harp on all that crap.
You have a wonderful booming voice.
That's pretty loose, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is a message about influence.
Okay, fine. Sit back now, please.
Is there anything else in the world besides mud and water? Do you know anything about the top of the water, the unknown?
In the middle of a party, in the middle of dinner, or even in the middle of the night.
We are living in the most spectacular, difficult, and dangerous period in history.
Will I really lose my tail?
Is everything all right with anesthesia? Fine. Alice? Knife? Scissors?
Wonder what's 52 billion. Sounds an awful lot.
Come here, let's check your throat, okay?
Take a good look at me, Peter, and you will see what you will be like in the very near future.
Okay, go.
And I love to hear him speak. And gosh, look at him leap! Clear into the water.
Seeing is believing. Is this true?
We need to put them in the sunshine.
Dumpty dum dum dum. Soon I'll see the world. Dumpty dum dum dum.
A good stick for you. Astonishing stroke against immaturity.
Do you believe everything you see? Well, you don't believe what you see in mirages. You believe in the goodness of people. You read about our country's history and believe it.
What a lot of tiny little legs he has. And I can see his eyes. Small and black and shiny. I think I know how it feels to be so tiny.
Lesson 1? Is that lesson 1? That was a very good lesson for me.
Falling, falling, red and yellow, brown and orange, falling, falling, from the trees and from the bushes. I want to know where do they go?
Ask yourself this question. Why do you believe?
A very good lesson. Thank you, Pop.
I'm having a stroke.
Do you have an answer?
I'm having a stroke.
I do.
I'm having a stroke.
May I write it now? That you showed me how? May I? May I write it now?
I'm having a stroke.
The reason is faith.
I'm having a stroke. I'm having a stroke.
Wow, what a lesson!
I'm having a stroke.
Faith.
It feels like you're frozen.
Your faith.
Petrified.
An intangible thing.
You're struggling with your mortgage payments.
That was a very good lesson for me.
The bills begin to pile up.
Yet you can feel it.
Wake up.
It's something you cannot see.
I can clearly see why that lesson was good for me.
Bedtime.
Good night, Dad.
I love this.
Yet a powerful and wonderful force.
I was driving home too, then all of a sudden I was like, what the hell is going on?
Oh, here we go.
Will I? Will I?
I don't know if you can get in trouble for that or not, can you?
Hail!
The backbone of our nation. You see it in the eyes of children.
Hail!
Now you're trying to copy me and be real southern. That's how I say it.
See? Dad had some very good lessons for me.
Isn't hail like snowish? Like cold, frozen
Ice,
stuff?
yeah.
What
Strong
the heck?
updraft.
I don't get it.
That noise?
Strong updraft.
Strong updraft? What does that mean?
All right.
That squishy, scratchy noise?
Feel it in the warmth of a handshake.
Here's a look at the rest of the future cast. I'll explain to Joe when we get into after the show.
Too hot for hail.
That's the sound of drawing a bear.
All right.
You're right. Hail is hot.
It's a good feeling.
A special and famous bear.
I'm trying to not get you in trouble. Be careful with the showers and thunderstorms out there. We will see you tomorrow. Don't get in trouble.
I didn't say anything wrong the whole time.
It's a consoling and necessary thing.
You are a rotten dinosaur egg.
Microphone's on, hopefully.
Practice and protect it.
I love people like you. I just love people like you.
Well, you might as well know. Your father has lost his job.
But Daddy liked his job.
Here, this is the money shot right here. Watch out there. Oh, look at all that now.
Losing his job was not his fault.
Seek it. Know it. Keep it strong.
The clock is ticking.
A big company bought the little company and didn't keep most of the people who worked for the little company.
The clock is ticking on your family.
It's strange how a crisis will bring our religion to the surface.
But now we won't have enough money.
The clock is ticking on your family.
We let it lie dormant for great periods of time.
And stop the violence.
And then revive it, only at times of desperation.
To the insurance company that did me wrong.
Will the men from the bank come and tear down the new room if we can't pay for it? Will we go hungry? What will we do?
You gave me automobile insurance apprehension.
Like most worthwhile things, the more you use and practice your religion, the stronger it becomes.
We may not all agree on political life,
Right now, Christmas is the least of our worries.
but we're all in agreement that none of us has enough life insurance.
Cherish it.
Super sexy life insurance.
It is a powerful weapon against the difficulties that we find at our doorstep today.
As the days went by and Mr. Quimby did not find work, he smiled less and less.
Picky just won't eat that cheap puss putty, Daddy.
We'll just have to learn to eat what we can afford or we'll get rid of it.
Sorry.
I once killed a turtle when I was a little boy.
Let it bring unity to your family.
Destined to be her 13th New York Times
Actually,
bestseller.
12. I hate to correct you on that, but I think I should.
All right.
Then how come Daddy can afford to smoke?
Young lady, I've heard enough about that old tomcat and his food. My cigarettes are none of your business.
They are too my business.
You're eating sausage, you're eating bologna, you're eating burgers, you're eating meatballs, you're eating sausage, you're eating bologna, you're eating burgers, you're eating meatballs, you're eating jumbo hot dogs.
Ramona, enough is a... Something...
Yet you can...
Something must have caught in my throat.
We feel what's right.
All right, Ramona, as I was saying, enough is enough.
We feel what's right. Then our brain says, yep, that's what God wants.
I have an idea. Let's draw the longest picture in the world.
And strength to our country.
Who doesn't want a good foreskin? So,
99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer. You take one down and pass it around. 98 bottles of beer on the wall.
So he showed up,
98
and her
bottles of
foreskin
beer
got
on the wall, 98 bottles of beer. You take one down and pass it around. 97 bottles of beer on the wall.
You know, there is no pain comparable to those jagged calcium rocks in your urinary tract.
Don't take your religion for granted.
The neighbors will think we're a bunch of beer guzzlers.
Great, he needs lots of mechanical pencils.
I see. Your son a big writer?
No, a big loser.
Me? What about me?
Practice it.
You hit Daddy with a hairbrush. I could be a sheep.
I will give them the best deal. Everyone had gone to bed.
Your credit score is 650.
The house was dark. Know that sound?
It's there to help you.
That's the sound of trouble for CPAP users. Down in the music room, an old harpsichord began to play. Bench press. And the harpsichord said,
I couldn't play that.
I forgot all about my bench press. And I started thinking about the Bible.
To guide you.
It's not my kind of music.
Protestants.
It's bogus.
Catholics.
I said you were crazy. I said you were crazy.
Jewish. They may never know freedom.
I would like to offer you free plastic surgery.
I haven't any damper pedal and can't jump around the keyboard the way you do. See what happens?
Hi, it's me, Tree Branch, so...
Why not get to know better?
Is this true?
Huh?
The piano laughed scornfully. What makes you sound so tinny?
December 24th, 1968, somewhere in space.
Just because you have hammers that hit the strings and make a lot of noise, you needn't feel so stuck up.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall.
Big mess. It's like vomit.
You're like a big drum playing a lot of notes. Bang, 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 bang.
This is not political. It is political. This is not political. It is political.
My music is gentle, like the harp.
This is not political.
Let me tell you this, you hand-painted antique.
It is political.
I can play your music so that it sounds better than you can possibly make it.
This is not political.
Here, I'll show you. Here's one of your most famous pieces.
A gun or a knife.
Where are you getting that?
Where am I getting that from? I'm getting it from the internet.
Do you really think that sounds well?
See how much money you can get for 10 minutes.
Commonly referred to as the NRA,
It's fun to give an Uzi to a 9-year-old.
is the oldest national organization of sportsmen in the United States.
Why, it's so thin and the tone sounds all alike. Here.
Disgusting.
I'm pathetic and a joke.
Rare brain infection
I make people sick.
usually leads to death.
KG News.
Stomach problems.
This boy feels cold when he stands up in the warm pool.
Abdominal pain. Urgent diarrhea.
I'm having a stroke.
Chronic widespread pain.
Can you imagine what would have happened if you'd picked up your wife's first resistance?
Chronic widespread pain. I had a disease.
Cooler.
What? That depends on who has the clicker. Frequent and complete bowel movements.
The boy feels cooler.
Can you hear some of the sounds we make?
Change how the disease progresses.
I'm sorry, sir, what?
Stomach ulcers, kidney or liver problems.
Yeah, sweet. I'm into it.
The wedge.
What's that? Is that a mole?
A boy has just struck the wedge.
Procedures involving anesthesia, ulcers and bleeding, difficulty passing urine.
Yes, it is.
Increased risk of death.
A boy looks over destruction.
Can you tell what anything is?
Stiff muscles and confusion.
This boy is making the pressure inside the tire greater than the pressure outside.
The answer is yes.
Trouble swallowing.
Is there anyone out there?
A boy presses down on a board.
Avoid grapefruit and grapefruit juice. Temporary burning sensation.
You may bruise more easily. Abnormal bleeding.
Will it matter in 100 years?
Cancers have happened. Tears in the stomach or intestines.
Oh!
Certain fungal infections are common.
That's what it is. But the parents has to be responsibility.
Clock not set. Date not set.
You have an infection.
It sounds like this. And I'm ready.
Live off the stage.
A rare, potentially fatal brain condition.
And
it may take longer than usual for bleeding to stop.
He's unsociable.
He says he's gonna vomit.
A boy raises 2 flags.
The disease progresses.
This girl is doing work.
Oh, wow. Radio.
Still there? Okay.
The girl has not moved. A girl uses a claw hammer.
Ulcers and bleeding.
Lee White on that road.
People had changes in behavior.
Just now, it's a recording this experience of the dog. It gives me something to share with your grandchildren for generations to come. Is that wonderful?
Sounds like this.
A boy turns a knob.
Mental health problems, which could...
Especially with bloody or black stools.
Especially with bloody or black.
Especially walking, agitation, walking, eating, driving, or engaging in other activities while asleep.
Let it count. 1, 2, everybody. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
To light a burner on a modern gas stove.
There you go. Doesn't that give you a lift? Oh, yeah.
Agitation or hallucinations.
Listen, if you recognize it, will you sing it with me? Okay, shake your head, okay? If you recognize it, sing it with me. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. You guys gotta help me out. If you recognize it.
A girl adds sugar.
There we go. Ready? Here we go.
To a cherry-flavored drink.
We do this to the tune of a song that everybody in this kind of work, actually, you folks know this song, I'm sure, because everybody in this kind of work knows this song.
The temporary inability to move.
Why, she was no bigger than a pinch.
You have unusual vaginal bleeding.
Difficulty swallowing, speaking.
A boy turns the crank of a pencil sharpener.
Pay attention to us.
Breathing.
We're getting really tired because of the music.
Neck and injection site pain.
In complete circles.
Where are you?
Damaging inflammation.
Can you repeat that? I have no idea what you just said.
Damaging inflammation.
Can you repeat that?
Damaging inflammation.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear that before.
A girl presses against a walnut with all her might.
We're gonna peek in through the doorway a little bit.
A rare serious brain infection caused by a virus may be possible.
This is cool.
The boy turns the handle in an up and down circle.
All right, bro, sounds good. If I don't answer, I'm probably humping my wife.
Block activity in the bowel.
Yeah, he is a very impatient son of a bitch.
Block activity in the bowel.
Driving like an asshole in the black SUV.
There's a skin infection.
These children are letting warm air into their refrigerator.
Driving like an asshole in the white Lexus and the Subaru.
I use artificial tears often.
That sucks.
Do you use artificial tears often? I use artificial tears often.
Great idea.
Isn't it?
Yes,
Do you use artificial tears often? I use artificial tears often.
To me, that was normal.
A family makes dinner in a modern kitchen.
I'm sorry, but that is not true.
Not for everyone.
I told him, I said, hey, we don't need any trouble in here.
They ate human beings.
I mean, he was, I think he might have a temper, but I don't think he's drunk.
Do not touch the vial tip to your eye or other surfaces.
A scientist pours liquid nitrogen.
This sound is supported by a major outside advertising and promotion campaign.
I was with the FBI for 6.5 years, and I'm used to saying special agent. I'm not a special agent.
Into a beaker.
Oh, is this like a rap battle?
A woman watches a weather forecast on television. A man examines his water heater.
Теперь нормальный темп.
A clown blows
Раз,
up a balloon.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
A man holds a bar of gold from a
11
government.
упражнение. На счет раз плечи вперед. На счет 2 развернуть. На счет 3 левое плечо вперед. На счет 4 развернуть. Раз, 2, 3, 4. То же самое с вращательным движением плеча. Раз,
A woman smells the
Два.
aroma of hot soup.
один круг, второй круг. Раз, 2, 3, 4. Раз, 2, 3, 4. Раз, 2, 3, 4.
But the boyfriend basically is high on meth.
she may be burned.
But the boyfriend basically...
Раз, два,
Heard 24
три,
hours a day.
4. Раз, два, три, 4.
He's got drug paraphernalia in the car.
A man carries a large block of ice.
12 упражнение. Сплести пальцы над головой. На счет раз, два, широкий круг руками. Раз, два. На счет 3 присесть, повернуться. На счет 4 еще раз. Раз, два, 3, 4. Темп показа снижен 2 раза. Раз, два,
A television
3,
broadcaster
4.
And then when I got to the jail, I was getting ready to leave, and I look in there like, oh crap, I got to return this. And I look, and there's this baggie with a lot of cocaine in it, I think, if it's cocaine.
A chemical compound is being sprayed into the air.
We see many colored lights that aren't laser beams.
Press the classical button.
My first reaction to American radio was intolerant. I thought it shallow and over-commercialized.
Still there? Okay.
And if you want to listen to classical music, for example, all you have to do is press the classical button. Water is evaporating from these wet clothes. Sorry, just a moment here, folks. The liquid becomes sweet.
Accepting, as every American does, quite easily, that the purpose of radio in the United States is to sell a product like soap or a service like a loan.
All you do is giggle. Every time we make a recording, they both start giggling.
The face of this clock has been removed.
Broadcasters come in here. One fellow said he was going to have 33 minutes of commercials every hour.
I had lots of fun, and
A liquid takes the shape of its container.
I got to splice all the tape.
But even news nowadays is beginning to be tailored to the requirement of a particular audience.
And then we rewound them, and then we got 3 new reels of tape. And that's about all.
Many of America's better-known radio preachers are millionaires.
A cigar box full of fleas.
Lazy, dishonest, and a bloody liar.
Yeah, I agree.
The good pastor invites his afflicted listeners to send him a love gift.
Talk to the microphone. Okay, let's play it back and see what we got, okay?
Yeah.
I once heard myself being described as lazy, dishonest, and a bloody liar.
Nothing but air.
We recorded some records, just a few minutes or something, and they sound pretty decent.
It gets tedious.
Forced labor.
That's about all I have to say. It's not much.
It gets tedious.
Forced labor.
We've been having some trouble with the tape recording tonight.
Airplanes and balloons.
The same 30 joules.
Dad was testing the microphone, or we started and he erased it because he didn't want it on.
And pull.
Different
And
jockeys,
pull.
different stations as you go up
And
around, of
pull.
course, but no real choice.
We were listening to the tape recorder because we had to go get our amplifier fixed.
No real choice.
Like a giant zipper.
I didn't want a tape recorder, but I don't want one anymore.
Everything has already been said 1,000 times before.
I don't know, we already got a tape recorder.
Their attitude is passive rather than positive.
Well, Dad,
The party leadership knows exactly what it's doing.
I got a suggestion for you.
Expertly, ceaselessly, loudly,
Why don't
persuasively.
you go play where the poison pills are in the cabinet?
The
How about
brush
that?
sweeps the carpet.
That's pretty good. Signing off.
This entire building has been raised off the ground.
Blindly repeat the cliché.
See ya.
This German Shepherd's teeth are also wedges.
The very atmosphere seemed to be a moving current of multicolored particles which came streaming down around him.
Yes, you're right.
Oh, dream of you.
The plane is continuing upward now, piercing through the stratosphere at a speed which must be unknown to man. As we peer through the window, we can see that it has just passed many of the distant stars. At least they were distant as far as Earth is concerned. We are now far beyond the Moon, Mars, Jupiter, and the Milky Way. Directly in front of us now, there's a dazzling light. It must be brighter than the sun, and it certainly is stirring up some excitement here in the cabin of the plane. The passengers recognize it as their destination as we get closer. Let's walk along with the portable microphone and see if we can pick up just a little of his song of praise.
Sustain me till I rot.
Clock not set. Date not set.
Sometimes I feel so small.
Did you get there?
It's all straight party line,
I can't hear you.
plus moral uplift,
Excuse me.
plus a certain amount of sugar coating.
A stupid sigh of joy.
Can I interrupt just a moment?
Why do you have to remind me of someone I know?
Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger.
The ideological massage is the message.
Burger Splendor.
Don't be afraid. Remember, I'm with you.
Okay, Bert, let's go.
Okay.
Tell them we're practicing to die.
Predictability remains the norm.
Now I must prepare to die.
And his chins and his fat stomach began to quiver like a dish of gelatin dessert.
I feel like an empty cigarette pack in the gutter.
Competent.
That's a nice little cha-cha.
Competent, predictable, and dull.
It's a liquid combination of chemicals delivered via convenience spray.
Sing another tune.
There's nothing inherent in this liquid that builds bonds between dads and daughters.
There I was making believe I was Michelangelo.
It is actually very, very dull.
My soul is not a piece of cheese.
There is nothing intrinsic in any of those chemicals that would help girls to grow up to be confident, self-reliant adults.
Seething with belligerent anxiety about his masculinity.
Maybe the old songs weren't really that beautiful.
A gloomy delight in evil.
Fears shift how people buy products.
They hadn't invented rapping yet.
Fears shift how
the club for the gay and the witty.
People buy products.
Hey, come on, fella. I don't think you ought to shoot me.
For more than 1,200 problems.
Subjecting you to emotional fascism.
Fears shift how...
In fact, maybe you ought to thank me with a bottle of whiskey or something.
People buy products.
Why, Ajax doesn't...
Don't change it. Put the official view first. You have to be a pretty dedicated listener if your attention is to be held by propaganda.
After all, I've not only been of good service to your wife, but to you.
Don't complain. You're paid well.
It was me who reminded her she was a woman.
There's no doubt. Radio is a powerful political weapon, if you can afford to buy enough time.
Don't get into a discussion about price.
Don't let their placid appearance fool you.
The early news in the morning gives you every abuse that has transpired in the previous 12 hours.
Don't pick up those bricks, because they're not real.
But you got no place to put it as you sail into your day. Now, why would anybody want to do that to themselves?
Don't ever let me hear that dirty word again.
Sleep tight, little ones.
Don't wash your hair.
Add the cost for a local singer for the time required to write the words and record the singer.
His patter has to be geared to that particular record. Don't wait much longer.
I had this horrible image of the last day in America, you see. When the bombs finally start to fall.
The door of opportunity is about to slam shut.
And the broadcaster scurrying across the studio floor.
Move quickly because the tide is turning.
Trying to get that last commercial on the air and into the accounts receivable books before his tower finally melts and falls to the ground.
Incorrigibly evil. The boy you see here is iron in a hospital.
He didn't have mass media.
And on paydays, this kind of boy goes into huge plastic bags. Like this one. And so do those who enjoy becoming germ-free. Let's watch.
You had songs, you had stories, you had conversations.
Have you ever wondered about people sterilized in boiling hot water? Let's watch.
I didn't say anything.
But I did.
The boy you see here is tumbled over and over, but they don't mind.
Well, let me put it this way. All of us assign blame in our own best interest.
Then it's this boy's job to kill every patient every day.
Oh, she can't wait to see what her DNA says about her.
Listen.
You'll never walk again.
That's her drinking coffee while she reads about her genetics.
Forever.
Maria.
Then it's this boy's job to kill germs.
A phone looking through her window.
There is time to relax, and the supervisors touch their employees.
You and your family are living in Berkeley.
Now, while I am seated here at the piano, I will play the most important mystical sounds, and you can repeat them after me.
A group of strangers break into your home.
First, we have the sacred, royal sound of Ra.
Occupy the sitting room.
Next, we have the feminine, maturing power of God. It is the sound of Ma.
The dining room, and even your bedrooms. You and your family drive them out.
Listen closely. Supervisors touch all the young women.
They resist. So the conflict erupts.
Thus, Ma and Ra are the same note.
It continues.
And the other workers.
Until the
they don't
intruders
mind.
find themselves cornered and have to declare. Let's stop the fighting.
We have the health-giving vowel of Aum.
The supervisors are more than glad when they have money to spend for the things they need. They work hard for their money and really deserve it.
A-U-M. The last is the psychic tone note of May.
Exactly.
Exactly right.
It attunes the psychic center of the human system with the cosmic.
We'll just keep going until we get a good one here.
The level inflection is used often by amateur speakers.
little of it lulls your listener into slumber.
Exactly.
All right, wait a minute. Okay, go.
Exactly.
Well, that would make this sound like $1,000,000. You could add reverb to this. All right, well, you'll have to do it there. All right, at the station, add reverb.
Thing to remember, it's not expensive.
You don't need a salesperson.
Let's go. Fine studio equipment here. All right, hit it. Begin.
And it's not expensive.
As we continue our music into the night, into the on 14 film. Take 5, 4. What is it? All right.
Well, what do you mean not expensive?
Or maybe you're. There you go.
Feels good after.
Fill the dreadful void with sporting events.
Of owning your own co-op.
Oh, dream of you.
I can't. I can do it again. Madness here. Continue.
The girls sit on one side and the boys on the other.
Your own space that you can do with whatever you wish.
Birmingham? I think it's Birmingham.
That you know belongs to you.
What is it? Let me read it. I have to read. That's not funny. Okay.
And I wonder, how long is my foot?
And they had the window, and they're staring right at you. And you're looking at them. I couldn't get anything to work. 3, 4 in the morning, we're still there trying to get the damn things done.
And I think I will be glad when school is over today, for it is the day of the market.
That you know will appreciate and value as years go on.
Bullshit.
I think about them, my new shoes, all the time now, as the day grows closer.
Then, we are the professionals that can help you find the space
I want these shoes.
that is most
Black
suited for you
and shiny and stiff.
What was that?
at the best price for you.
The only show on WRU.
And we'll help you in every way possible.
We all sleep and eat in the one room.
Montreal.
To find what you're looking for, call us.
That's not right.
Please make note of the letters that we give to each space before and after we show it to you.
It is a very nice sound, the making of tortillas.
To see is apartment B.
Yes, and don't call us, we'll call you. Bye.
And they tried to keep the room as open as possible.
You should not be aware in any way that you have clothes.
One window overlooks your expansive terrace.
Papa laughs when he sees me, always with my piggy bank.
The other 3 windows facing east illuminate the entire room with early morning sunshine.
I suggest you just lie down on the floor.
Thanks for joining us.
Mama is sad.
And just lie down flat on the floor.
Right away I think of my shoes and what I will do tomorrow to get the rest of the money.
Open them, loosen them. You couldn't think straight, you couldn't do anything.
So I run to the steps of our church. I like to look up at the tall bell towers. Someone else is looking up too. They are people from another country who come from far away in cars to take pictures of our church.
And if you happen to be the president of General Motors,
you can't give yourself a new personality.
It is a very beautiful car. I wash it until it shines like black shoes.
You can hold your board of directors meeting here.
The only thing there is for you to do is to do absolutely
nothing.
2 children and stuffed animals, which do not come with the apartment.
Something is not good.
Sleep now.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The stewardess is speaking.
welcome to the New Jerusalem. It has been a pleasure to have you today on Interworld Airlines Flight FINAL. We will not invite you to fly with us again, for this is your final trip. You are now entering your eternal home. The captain requests that you keep your seatbelts fastened until the aircraft has taxied into position.
Yes, Mama. We have the money. In my piggy bank. In my pocket. There is enough. The girls sit on one side and the boys on the other.
I can. I can do it again. This is madness here. Continue.
Explosive. There will be no more gunfire in your beautiful country.
Who then is your actual enemy?
Remove the explosive.
And all the way back.
There will be no more gunfire in your beautiful country.
All the way up.
Gentlemen may cry, peace, peace, but there is no peace.
And the sound in slumber.
War is inevitable.
All the way up. All the way down.
And let it come. There is no peace.
At the count of 5, you will rouse yourself sufficiently to turn off your record player.
And I saw the ghastly human wreckage of that war. What on earth are these American boys doing, getting wounded and killed and buried in France?
Their name is or that people are looking at them in a strange way in the street, or that in some way or another the world is treating them differently and strangely and unpleasantly.
The American man is a mighty patient, loyal fellow. But what right have we to send him away from his home to be shot?
Blood? A kind of blood? Well, that blood's the blood of the blood.
As the night is again broken by gunfire.
Blood? I mean,
This program helped me to become a better person, both physically and mentally.
This is you.
Some drugs are administered through the mouth.
This is you.
There is a need to inculcate the spirit.
This is you. 3 in a row, opening line. We did it.
We must understand propaganda and use it effectively.
Of the army. In this young man.
Why?
The spirit of the army is the rifle.
We did it.
Hey, hold up.
You're making it happen.
The rifle is the basic weapon of the United States Army.
Economic freedom. I'm gonna
The
do that
ghoulish notion of a weapon which preserves property while it kills people.
again. You're making it happen.
Wash.
You know, now we own 14 guns, and my handgun is to keep me safe until I can get to my shotgun.
A prolonged, agonizing death.
It is reality.
Because if the enemy is not destroyed, you will be destroyed.
Anybody that doesn't believe it is living in a fantasy world.
All right, then.
Snatching a gun from the night table.
3 in a row, opening line.
I got shot at last night, and I don't want to leave the house right now.
We go on spreading culture as with peanut butter.
Let the fighting go on. When a kid's carrying a gun or a knife.
And your hard work made it possible.
I understand it.
I'm gonna do that again.
Of course it's legal. It's a war.
I'm gonna do that again.
Until the war is over, anything's legal.
People are shoots out there in the street.
You vote, but you vote.
Do you think that most kids get guns for protection?
Our principle is that the party commands the gun.
You vote.
And the gun must never be allowed to command the party.
You're making it happen.
Of course, I think there will be blood in the streets. I really do think that's going to happen.
I'm gonna do that again.
Within 2 minutes from a stored position to launch ready.
I'm gonna do that again.
Wave off target engagements.
A lot of times they're armed. Probably crazy.
You're making it happen.
Literally within seconds before detonation.
And it exists.
That can easily be reloaded.
Who is the only proven job creator?
You gotta give me a gun.
Who is the only proven job creator?
Providing a new level of battlefield lethality.
He must be able to shoot to kill from any position.
Why are you crying?
It is always the man with a rifle who has the last word.
Who is the only proven job creator?
Survivability and combat effectiveness.
Oh, I'll shoot if I have to, but I'll shoot to wound.
Precise and mobile lethality.
But I'll shoot to wound,
And
not
that
to kill.
definitely describes the latest edition of AeroVironment's family of loitering missile systems.
A man must die. It's up to the law to decide that. Not the person behind a six-shooter.
Working closely with our DoD customers.
Let's get in the habit of asking ourselves, is that gun loaded? Is that gun loaded? Is that gun loaded? Is that gun loaded?
Gun loaded.
Is that gun loaded? Is that gun loaded? Is that gun loaded? Is that gun loaded?